Yeah, welcome back. Well, we've been talking about, surviving in a very harsh economic environment. And earlier on, we talked about recycling. And now we are dealing with highway restauranting business. It's my phrase, my kind of coinage. But then I have an expert with me on Zoom. His name is Michael Oviemada. Am I right in that pronunciation, Mike? Can you hear me?
Good attempt. People always have trouble calling my last name because of the three consonants that go back to back. NMH. The real pronunciation is Oviemada.
Oviemada, okay. All right. So thank you very much. Now, I read your compelling story about your business in Ore, and I was very enthralled by it because, as far back as 40, maybe more years ago, anytime we took that road to Benin from Lagos, we always stopped at Ore to, ease ourselves and then fill our stomach, So it was such an nostalgic experience for me when I read your story, and I said to myself, oh no, this man, I must talk to him on this show. So tell me, how did you even go into that place? A man who was trained in the US, come all the way to Nigeria, and then now start a highway restaurant in a place like Ore.
Yeah, I tell you what, you know how it is when you're young and you have dreams, and your dreams take a U-turn, a back turn, whatever it is, life takes a turn, all right? Well, here I was in the university, but first of all, let me go back to how I got into the university.
Yes, please.
When you finish high school, advanced levels, they ask you to pick 3 universities. So I picked Ahmadu Bello, I picked Ife, and I picked the University of Lagos. So my father gave me 20 naira for my trip to Ahmadu Bello. So I went to Ido, got on the train to Zaria. I went to Ahmadu Bello, processed my admission. When I finished, I took a 404 station wagon to take me to Ife. All of this on 20 naira, okay? Wow. I'm talking now 1977. I got to Ife, processed my admission. Ife was just beautiful. I considered it as the place that I wanted to go. And then when I finished at Ife, I came to Unilag. When I saw the lagoon front, I said, you know what, this is my university. That's how I got into Unilag. The lagoon front was my biggest attraction. So, seeing that lagoon front that day, I said to myself, why is this place empty? And it's been empty for 40, 50 years. Why can't someone start a restaurant there? I was asking myself that question. And I said, instead of asking that question, you answer that question for yourself. And I opened my first restaurant at the University of Lagos at the Lagoon Front on October 1, 1978.
How old were you then? It lasted
exactly 30 days before they shut down.
How old were you? How old were you then?
19.
Wow.
19, 18 going on 19. 19, yeah, 19.
Yes, yeah. Go ahead. Tell me.
Yes. So after opening that restaurant, 30 days later, they shut me down. Apparently, the vice chancellor at the time didn't know what was going on because, in those days, departments operated autonomously. They had powers to do stuff. So whereas one department gave me the permit to open the place at the Lagoon Front, the vice chancellor was not aware of it. So he now asked that they shut me down. So they shut me down by the end of the month of October. And here I was, I had invested 6,000 naira in 1978, which was a lot of money for a little guy like me.
Yes.
So what happened next? I started to write petitions. In those days, we didn't know how to give bribes. I didn't know I needed to bribe anybody. Bribe was not part of our culture growing up in Nigeria. So I was writing petitions. For 1 year, I was writing petitions every week. I'll go and drop a petition at the Vice Chancellor's office. Eventually, the Vice Chancellor at the time was removed and an acting Vice Chancellor came on board. One Professor Duroja, a tall, handsome, always smiling Vice Chancellor. So I kept writing my petitions and taking it to his office. After lectures every day, I'll go to his office and sit down. He'll pass me by, go and do his job. I kept going. I just kept going. I kept at it. One day he came out of his office, saw me sitting down, and he took me by the hand. He said, "Young man, walk with me." So he now took me to the office of the person whom he thought could solve the problem. He said, "Solve this young man's problem." And then that's how they gave me land in the Amina area, where I now started the Omiki Rendezvous in 1980. Yeah. So that's the brief story of how I got into the restaurant business.
And then you moved on. How did you get to the U.S.? How did you get to the United States?
Now, yes. Doing the restaurant business, every time we traveled to Benin at the time to come and see my parents, I always thought, look, Ore deserves a modern place. I had never left the country at the time, okay? Because I was what you would call your pure irredentist Nigerian nationalist. We loved Nigeria growing up. Nigeria was all we knew, and we thought Nigeria was going to be this great nation, and we're going to take our place in the Committee of Nations. We were proud people. We had great teachers, great parenting. The environment was set. So at that time, when I was about 2021, when I went to Ore, I wanted to get land in Ore to open a place at the time. But somehow events overtook all of that. And life went on. 1988, I got married, started to make children in 1990. In 1996, I went to the United States of America. So going to America was one of those things that I did not like at all. Because we love Nigeria so much, we thought we were going to make Nigeria great. And who else to make it great? But those of us who have been educated and loved by Nigeria. Nigeria loved us. Nigeria gave us free education. Nigeria gave us bursary. Nigeria gave us great teachers, great lecturers, a great and safe environment. So going to America was not one of those things I looked forward to at all. But when you're married, you listen to your partner. Yep.
Okay, so now, how did you start Ore Restaurant?
Okay, I've been in America for a little while and raised my 3 children. When I saw that the youngest was already about 11 or 12, I said, well, you little guy, you can go to school, come back home and make your own Indomie and have your lunch by yourself. You no longer need me. I poured everything into all of you. I need to go and pursue my dream. So that's how I came back to Nigeria in 2007.
You left them there?
To start to put things together. I left America.
Okay. Yeah.
I left my family in Dallas, Texas.
Yes, go on.
Yes, to come and start this business. Yes. And I was traveling regularly, 5 times, 6 times a year. I'll be in America to be with my family. So I got land in Ore in 2008. I got 22 acres of land, 22.5 acres of land. The plan was to build a small city with a restaurant as the anchor. That was the plan. And I finally put a partnership together by 2009 that enabled me to start. And that's how I built the place that came to be known at the time as the Travel Center of Nigeria, TCON, modeled after the travel centers of America. When you travel across the American landscape, you're going to run into these stopovers in America where you find McDonald's, Burger King, Cracker Barrel, and the rest of them. And gas station, a small city, kind of. So that was the plan I wanted to execute in Nigeria. But Nigeria had changed dramatically from the Nigeria we knew before we went to America.
But you still managed to adapt, didn't you? Otherwise...
Oh, yes. Adapting is one of those things that is almost like climbing a hill on which somebody has poured some grease That's the best way I can describe adaptability in Nigeria, even by the local business person who has never traveled. Because you see, the Nigerian environment for business is the most toxic around the world. Our people, I mean, look at what's happening to Dangote right now. I'm a little guy. Look at Dangote with all his investments and the trouble they've been giving him. They wanted to demarket him. The people who were supposed to promote him started to demarket him just for their selfish ends. So think about a little guy like myself, you know. So Nigeria is a difficult environment which you have to navigate. I tell you what, the day we opened for business, okay, let me back up. After we bought land, cleared it, and we started construction, nobody came to see me one day to say, hey, Mr. Michael, how can we help you? Not 1 minute, not for one day. Now, on opening day, November 2nd, 2009, 5 people came to see me, 5 people from different departments of the government, the local government, the state government, and I believe the federal government. Everybody with their tax bill. Okay, they gave me a tax bill on opening day of 880,000 naira. Ooh. And I said, I just opened today. How do I start to pay taxes on day one of business opening? I'm like, is this how you welcome me to this country? Yeah, I was sizzling with rage. Yeah.
What did they say? What was their response to that, your reaction?
Hey, they said, oh, guy, you don't need to vex like that now. We can talk about it. You know, the whole Nigerian factor kicks in. Because you now have to survive. You've hired, I had 121 people on opening day working for me. We were supposed to be a 24-hour round-the-clock restaurant. We're never supposed to close for 1 minute. Just like in America. Once you travel in America, whenever you stop at a stopover, you're able to eat something, go to your car and sleep, or get a motel room and sleep. So we had people working around the clock and people coming, customers coming also around the clock.
Okay.
When people know you are open, they're gonna show up. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., a big boss will show up. Maybe they just lost a tire. They need a place to sleep.
Okay,
so we start cooking for them at 2 a.m. By the time they finish eating, they spread out on the floor and sleep till morning to continue their journey.
In that case, you had enough impetus to believe that the business was lucrative, right?
Of course, I did my feasibility. When I came, I got a consultant to work for me to look at the feasibility of the project. And just looking at the place, man, everybody travels on the highway from west to east, from east to west. So it was a no-brainer. And I built the biggest, baddest place that Nigeria had ever seen. You know, big and bad and beautiful with 44 toilets. You don't go wrong with that. And the place has stood the test of time, apart from the human beings that we hired in the beginning, who were just from another planet.
Now, when did you start feeling almost regretful about this whole thing? Did you ever feel any regret? Was the challenge so overwhelming for you?
The challenge was humongous. But the good fortune we had at the time was that the Naira was still a little bit strong. So I could continue to meet my obligations to my family in America. In the beginning, in the early days, when the Naira was still good, at the time it was about 147, 148. But from about maybe mid-2011, maybe April, there about 2011, things began to take a turn for almost impossible. Yes, the prices in the market, the quality of employees, their propensity to steal before we even start to make money. I mean, like the week we opened, week 1, a staff came to tell me, hey, we're planning to steal from you every single day. I said, how? He said, oh, you know, I'm one of your 6 supervisors, and this is what we've decided to do. Every day we're going to take out this amount of money, you know, and we cook the books. At the end of the day, you'll not know better. I said, are you kidding me?
What?
She said, no, this is how we're going to do it. And I'm going to show you when it's my turn to collect my money. I'll show you. I'll bring my money to show you. So she collected her money and came to show me, say, this is how we're stealing from you. So you just try and fix all those things. When you see one honest person who is willing to help the corporation, because if the corporation survives, everybody survives. The corporation dies, everybody goes home. But Nigerian employees, they really don't care that much for the corporation to survive. When you hire somebody in this country, they come with a mindset. As one of my nephews said one time, he just cracked me up. He said, when you hire somebody in Nigeria, they come with the mindset, me against the corporation, who's going to be first to win or lose.
How did you manage that kind of scenario? Because there was one person telling you the truth, but there were so many others who were not willing to even let you know how they felt about it. Challenge, that's number 101.
Yeah, one of those things that just beats you hollow, that why I'm providing a living for you, why would you want to do this, you know? And you just keep changing and hiring new people. Any person you're hiring comes with his own agenda. You just keep trying, short of uprooting your building and carrying it to South Africa. You know, once you have fixed assets on the ground, you're stuck. You're stuck as far as business is concerned in Nigeria. This is why many foreign investors who come here, they don't want to invest in fixed assets, so that when they run into troubled waters, they can just carry their briefcases and take a walk. You know, it's a very tough environment. We never went beyond phase 1, or let me not say that, because I'm still carrying on. We have not gone beyond phase 1 of the construction of that business. It was supposed to be a city. All I have right there now is just a restaurant. We've not built the hotels, we've not built the malls, we've not built all the other facilities that we plan to build from inception. Yeah, so we've just been struggling to survive.
Before we conclude, I believe, just taking off from where you stopped on this, your last statement, you can get investors to put in some money to at least start a hotel business there. I mean, it will be all instructive for all of you. It will be a win-win situation for investors, return on investment, and you, the owner of the business. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. The thing is that with the last 1 year in this country, the political environment, which has translated into the economic environment, this is the worst time to ask anybody to come and invest in a business. Everybody is changing their money to dollars as a safe haven, because the Naira has just gone on a journey. Right now, we don't know when it's going to come back from that journey. Now, the journey of the Naira is not necessarily a bad one if we could back it up with infrastructure. The other day, I had a big laugh when I heard the Minister for Power talking about, these corporations, they don't want to buy power from us. Everybody is now generating their own captive power. And I was like, before Uncle, you know, imagine I'm running a steel industry and I'm buying power from the Minister of Power. And in the middle of my steel production or recycling production with the young lady you just spoke with now, the NEPA takes light. Everything turns to metal inside my processing system. My company dies on day one. So, hey, if I can do my captive power, I'm going to do my captive power. Nobody's going to buy power from the federal government. They should look for people to sell it to who live on Mars or Jupiter or the moon, you know.
Okay, this is a very interesting story you're telling us. Well, thank you very much. One last, just in 30 seconds, what would be your advice for starters who want to just, feel the need to survive? 30 seconds.
Interesting. I will say this. We can't give up on Nigeria. It's still our country. Because my story tells the story. Eventually, I found one honest person who could help me run the business. That's why we're still in business today. We're surviving by the skin of our teeth, but we are surviving and we're making money because I have one honest person. So this is what I would say to any investor. Don't look for a master's degree, don't look for a PhD degree, look for honesty degree. and don't look for any form of education at all. Because the manager I have there right now has only JSS 3, but she has the biggest degree in life that I want, that any business wants, which is honesty. That's what any business should be looking for if they want to make it, they want to survive, and if they want to thrive in the Nigerian environment. Honesty is very, very scarce.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you very much indeed. This is a very instructive one, and we've learned a lot from just the two of you on Sunny Rabo Live today. Good night. And so, that's how it's been with us. First, we talked about recycling, and then the next one, of course, the business on the highway, restaurant on the highway, and the need to survive the current economic situations. Good night, everybody.